It's throwing me off. So we should be live any second. Tell me when you see it on your page.
It looks like you're streaming live now. And I'm going to see whether or not you're able to share on my page or not.
You're both my friends and you're both here on my Facebook. So it's got to be on your Facebook too.
Not necessarily. Friends of mine were posting on my page for my birthday, and I learned I had to turn it off because otherwise they annoy me with political posts that are antithetical to my beliefs.
Oh, absolutely.
I'll put it that way. But if you're
did you both check your Facebook page to see that it's streaming on your page?
I'm going to look now.
Worst case, I will share it on your page after.
Okay, I see it, but no, this was our promo. No, I'm still don't see it.
It should be there because I tagged you guys 3 times on the post. So what happens is maybe it won't until we get done, and then it'll put it on your page. So let's just roll with it.
Okay.
Okay.
So Facebook people, oh my gosh. Today we have the amazing duo out of New York, Thomas Mongelli in the blue at the top. And down at the bottom of the Brady Bunch, we have Doug Max.
No, it's the other way around.
I had it backwards. I knew what I was saying.
No, he had it right. She had it right.
Doug Max is at the top in the blue, and Tom Mongelli is at the bottom.
No. I'm Tom Mongelli. She had it right, Doug. Mind your own business.
That's what I just said. I corrected it.
She's not saying blue shirt. She's saying blue background on the top.
Doug Max has the blue shirt on.
Yes.
Tom Mongelli is the lovely gentleman in the bottom with the flag behind him.
Oh, on the bottom. Okay, you see me on the bottom. I see myself on top.
Oh, now we're talking.
You better not, Tom. You know what happens when that. How many times have you been arrested for that?
And by the way, Doug's in the blue shirt. I'm in the Batman underoos.
That's good to know.
Yes.
Usually when I have you guys on, the second time I've had you two on, usually when I have you on, I can take a nap. You'll do the whole show without me. Really, I'm just like candy. I'm just sitting here looking pretty. You don't really need me. You two are so funny. I remember you were on the phone when you called in at Harvey's in Portland.
Yeah.
I couldn't even see you. And so I could only hear your words. You guys are hysterical.
Was that us?
Yes, it was. It was you guys.
You obviously have us confused with someone else.
Tell me I want each of you to answer kind of a triplet question.
Okay.
Where are you from? What in the heck made you decide to go full force with being funny? And what's the best thing that's ever happened in your careers?
Oh my God.
Could you start with Doug in the blue?
Doug in the blue.
Hello, I'm Doug Max. I'm from Summit, New Jersey. I'm back in Summit, New Jersey here, taking care of my almost 97-year-old World War II escaped POW dad. What was the next question, Tom?
Where were you on the night of October 21st?
It wasn't me. It wasn't me.
What made you get into comedy? What's the best?
So, I guess it was the day I received my divorce papers in the mail. I called up the local comedy club and booked myself for a new talent night coming up in 2 weeks. And, for some reason, I'm still friends with the guy that booked me that night. Now 8 years. He was on our show recently. I got to yell at him about how he could keep quiet about comedy, but I love doing it. And I've had a number of successes. I got one laugh at Gotham Comedy Club, and not only did I blow the light They turned off the microphone on me. And then the guy had to come over the PA to say, Doug, your time is done. I still wrapped it up. This was my 4th show ever. It was a 15-person bringer show. I didn't know any. And, it was, nobody does that anymore. Only the suckers will do 15, anyway, it was my 4th show. I was not prepared for it. But that, and I think opening for Gilbert Gottfried. I had a great set. Unfortunately, a horrible video, but they wouldn't shut up. I was like on the verge of, would you let me get through a sentence? They wanted to see Gilbert, so they were in a good mood.
Yeah.
I got to ride the wave before him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So you take care of your 97-year-old veteran father who was a POW during World War II.
Yeah, shut up! You'll eat later.
Doug, you have to be more gentle with your
that would have woken him up because he was.
Hello,
taking a nap.
police. We have a case.
No, dial Meals on Wheels.
I know I do.
He's unfortunately, I have to say, it's really hard because he has his memory. So I have to remember to feed him all 3 meals or, when he starts to lose his memory, I figure I can, get by with, a couple meals. Dad, you ate yesterday. Don't worry about it. Yeah,
that's a good joke.
This is how I survived 3 months in prison. Yeah.
So thank him for his service. If he still has his memory, if you're not joking and he knows what that means, please tell him thank you for your service.
We'll get back to that later, but I will thank him. He remembers.
Yes.
Let me tell you, his father is more sharp than Doug is.
What's that saying though?
Doug is about as sharp as a bowling ball.
Wow, that's sharp. So Doug, are you a veteran as well?
I'm a veteran of taking care of my dad. I'm not
you know what? That means you're a veteran to me.
No. I actually, my lottery number in 1974 was 7. The year that they had the lottery, but they didn't do the draft. The first year they stopped the draft. So I missed Vietnam by the, very, very close. Yeah.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Talk about giving me body chills. Wow.
I didn't know
what we're talking about. Their draft will shut the door.
I knew all the protest songs, and I was very involved in protesting. And my folks took us down to DC to see the sit-ins. That was the way to protest, sitting in.
Yes.
Absolutely. Nice and quiet. You're not going to get cops tear gassing you for sitting.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Well, Tom, you're trying to be quiet. Talk to me about the same exact thing. Don't veer off a bit.
Okay, I'm Tom Mongelli. I'm born and bred in New Jersey. Right now I'm living in Lakehurst, New Jersey, which is where the Hindenburg exploded.
No way.
Nope. Yeah, no more Hindenburg. Now I'm the only blimp in Lakehurst. But Jersey, love it or leave it, I guess. And
hey.
What?
Jersey is a garden state. Go on.
No, garbage state. So anyway, what was the other questions? What
made you get into comedy, and what's been your best experience besides working with the guy in the blue shirt?
So this is a fantasy podcast. No, I got into comedy. It was always on my bucket list. I always watched all the old comedy movies and comedians and whatnot. Now the only thing on my bucket list is fried chicken, but that's besides the point. I started to get into comedy. Actually, after my mom passed, I figured that'll open up some material for me because I couldn't say dirty words if she was still alive.
Wow. You lost your mom. I lost my wife. It prompted us both to get into comedy.
Yeah, and I started with Uncle Floyd. I don't know if you're familiar with Uncle Floyd.
Yeah.
He's a Jersey celebrity. He had his own TV show a while back, and he has a cult following. And he used to have me come to his nightclub, and he used to bring me up, and I used to do 5 or 6 minutes every Tuesday night for 2 years. and I ended up taking a class with Doug, and we kind of started out together, and we've been shadowing each other. Although my shadow was bigger than his.
It's cool. It's 20 degrees cooler behind him in most when the sun is shining.
I make money in the summer selling shade on the beach.
That's good.
And you don't have to dig it into the sand because there's no wind is going to. Yeah, it doesn't show. But my friend is. How did we call you? Copiously corpulent.
Yes, I'm the 14th biggest thing in comedy. I'm the 14th biggest thing in comedy.
Really?
Yes.
He's huge.
Yeah.
One of our shows coming up, we're going to try filling him up with helium and see how far I can.
That should be fun.
We're hoping to get a Dairy Queen.
I want to audition for the Thanksgiving parade at Macy's.
So when somebody wants to book you guys, do they have to split you up? And have you ever had any fighting over a gig?
I don't think we've had many minor squabbles, and we always settle them out like good partners.
Good.
I really don't have the luxury of freedom as much as Tom, so I'm a little bit jealous. But Tom is very funny in a different way than I am. It's okay, go and do your shopping.
Somebody wants it's a booty call.
Oh,
you want to take here? I can. I'll back you up.
Okay, back to you, Doug.
So no, I think I was talking about how wonderful Tom is, and Tom has a lot of. Tom is more one-liners, and I'm more storytelling.
Nice.
And I wish I had more one-liners. For many crowds you get, they don't have the attention to follow a story.
Yeah. I find that people don't like my one-liners and they don't like my stories. Now what do I do?
Now,
do what I do. You be patient with them. That's all.
Now, I have an MBA in marketing, by the way. And the first thing you learn in marketing is you want to try and be different than your competition. So Doug tries to be different by not having any punchlines whatsoever. He doesn't have one-liners. He has 25 liners, and none of them are funny. So that sets him apart from all the other comics.
And if those don't work, I have 25 that are also not funny. You wear them down, you grind them, and then they can't help it anymore. I'm gonna laugh at the wrong spot. I know it's the wrong spot, but it's built up. I got to get it out of me.
Yeah.
Tom, you heard somebody. You remember you were at a show and somebody laughed at something I said. You were there.
Right.
Remember that?
I'm a witness. I wrote it on my calendar.
At one time.
Right.
So you do this podcast show.
Yes.
Called Funny Talk with Mongelli. That's
Mongelli and Max.
And Max up at the top, Mr. Blue Shirt. And it's on Funny Talk with Mongelli and Max or funnytalk.podbean.com.
That's where it's
How long have you been doing Funny Talk with Mongelli and Max?
We celebrated our 2-year anniversary not long ago, right, Tom?
A couple of months ago, yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So
yeah,
how did we celebrate?
We did one of our shows naked, but we were only naked under our clothes, so it was okay.
You were only naked under your clothes?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm the one that has to explain his humor. I have to tell people that was the funny part. If it slips by them, yeah.
So actually, we just we're in the process of retooling Funny Talk because we left our old radio studio that we were filming out of, or broadcasting out of, and now we're doing it on Podbean. So we have total control of the whole show, and we've been changing it from just an interview format to more skits and parodies and that kind of thing.
What? That's great.
Yeah,
Awesome. Congratulations. That's a lot of work though, right?
it is a lot of work.
Who does
A
the
lot of
work?
work. What?
Who does all the work? Which one of
Tom
you
does
does the most?
Tom does all the work.
No, no,
So
no.
I've become I handle more of the technical. Tom does an awful lot of the writing. He loves the writing. I what do I do, Tom? I guess sit here and
Doug,
look at you.
Doug does all the pre-production, post-production. He handles all the technical aspects of the show, and I basically do creative. But
He does all the
even
comedy. Tom does all the comedy, all the funny stuff.
no, no, no.
But
But even the
getting it
writing,
out
we
to the
collaborate.
people.
We collaborate on the writing also.
We talk too much.
Yeah.
I'm just
And,
gonna nod. I'm just gonna
and
nod.
And
I'm not
we
gonna-
write along the way, and I think for a lot of stuff we remember from a conversation. And it's what is it? Comedy is like making sausage. If people were a witness to some of our phone calls, they might listen, but I would need to find a new girlfriend. Tom would need to move out of state.
So
Right now, I'm in a state of confusion.
there you go.
Yeah.
I have a question, Tom. I forgot
Yes.
to ask you. Are you a veteran?
No, I'm not a veteran.
Okay.
But I play one on TV. No, I don't.
You? You
No,
don't?
no, no.
Okay. Well, thank you anyway. The flag is, I keep seeing the flag and I'm a veteran. So I'm like,
So
have to
tell us about your service and thank you for it. What did you
Thank
do?
you.
Oh, wow. You'll have to have me on your show.
Turn the tables.
Yes.
You're on now. Yeah. And
Absolutely.
we're back with Funny Talk with Mongelli and Max.
And here's Linda. I was in the Army. I was in the Army in 1973.
Wow. Okay.
And
That's
it was
where I would have
before-
been your neighbor. I was this close.
Yes, I heard that because in 74 you were number 7
Yep.
in the draft.
Yep.
And I was one woman among 2,000 men in Germany, and we didn't have a Gloria Allred in those days. We didn't have
Wow.
a Me Too movement.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've
Holy
heard
moly.
some of the
But it
stories.
was,
Yeah.
it
We're
makes
still
you
still
stronger.
hearing them. Yeah.
What's that?
We're still hearing the stories.
Yeah, yeah. So, it was a time where, it's a good thing I was a baby boomer because we were trained never to speak up or speak up for ourselves. So when I went in the military, I just I was trained that whatever a guy wanted to say or do, they said or did. But now I know, now I get it. So I got a lot of jokes about my military.
I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you've been doing this podcast and you do
Yep.
comedy around New York and the East Coast, right? You've been on stages all over.
Mostly
I
the
think
East
that's
Coast.
true.
Yeah.
Yep.
So when you go on
Oh, I went to
stage-
England. I went to England.
I saw that.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Very English.
Does your father remember?
No, he wasn't there. It was odd. Because I had my humor. I was not experienced enough to do what I would have done now, but I told some stories, and half the people at this private birthday party happened to be members of the church choir, and I may have said some things that their mouths were open and they weren't eating anything. So
Oh my gosh. So when you guys go, other than going to England, when you go on stages, a lot of the time, a good percentage of the time, do you go on together and do like, no.
I hate him.
No, very few shows do we do together.
We've done
We
a
just
few.
happen to be doing one this Friday, which we're going to plug.
Oh,
And we've done a
plug.
few other ones, but I do my shows, Doug does his shows, and every now and then we get to work together.
Tom does his shows and does some more shows. And then Tom does his shows. And Doug, you got any shows? Shut up, Tom.
You have a show
I
coming up?
do. Well, we're not, nobody's doing anything live. We've got a show coming up on the internet, at,
It's this Friday. You actually have to go to the Facebook page, Connection Machine on Facebook. Like the page or join with the group, whatever you have to do, and then you can watch the show live, or you can see it after the fact on our Facebook pages. And it's going to be a good show. It's Doug and myself. The person who put it together, another funny comic, Jeff
Greenberg.
Thank you. I forgot what color he was. Jeff Greenberg. And Donna Weissals is going to be on the show. Who else, Doug?
Scott Friedman. And produced by Sean Z.
No, Sean Z is going to be the host.
The host, yeah.
Yes.
So what time is that on Friday?
4 o'clock in the afternoon.
4 o'clock on Friday. And it's going to be on StreamYard, whatever that is.
That's like what you're on now, only a different name, and it's a little bit different, but it's basically the same.
Yeah.
Right.
I think I've done something on that before.
So, Doug, do you have a show coming up besides this?
Do I have a show
your
coming
father.
up besides this, Tom?
No, he doesn't.
No live shows other than our show that we're doing together. I think that's my next booking. And
that's the only one I have scheduled.
Wonderful.
And then at some point we'll come out of things. But I think even after we come out of, what we're in, I think it's going to be slow getting comedy crowds back. And I'm also thinking, some of the New York rooms that hold 50. And if the laws, last I heard, were a quarter of the population for a while, the quarter of the room size, you think of performing in a room made for 50 or 60 to a group of 15 people spread out, you'd feel empty. Better than online, I think, but
yeah.
It'll be interesting.
They've opened up a lot of Vegas. It's almost totally open now.
And wow.
Yeah,
You've got the light and heat.
What?
You've got the light and heat to kill the virus.
Yeah, that's true. But I think I'm going to lay around the house here and talk to men in my bedroom. It's my bedroom. Just so that, are you visual? Men are very visual.
You want to put the laptop underneath the mattress and we'll talk to the guy and see how he is for you?
I've had more men. I've had 250 men in my bedroom during this pandemic.
So has Doug.
Don't laugh at that.
You took it so well.
Is that funny, Tom?
That was really... Tom, did you ever get in trouble for being mean?
Oh, yeah.
Tom?
I've been in trouble a few times.
Be careful, my friend, what story you share. It needs to be one of your lesser mean stories.
Let me hear a story from your life or your comedy, something that you've never told anybody, not even your father or your coworkers.
All right, tell you that story.
I've got
Go
one.
ahead, Tom.
I was on my way into Manhattan to Broadway Comedy Club. They were having an industry show, and I was auditioning to pass to get into their program that they would hire me.
Yeah.
So I was rushed and harried, and there was a lot of traffic, and I can't walk that well without a cane, even with the cane. So I was trying to find parking close to the club. Well, in an attempt to find parking, I found that I had this urgent need to go to the bathroom.
Okay.
Now, I'm in my car, in traffic.
Do you remember the part where I said, think carefully about what story you tell?
Oh, this is not bad. So anyway, I ended up finding a parking spot. It happened to be on top of a hot dog vendor, but that's besides the point. So I parked the car and I went into this building to use the bathroom. There was a long line for the ladies' room, and I was psyched because there was nobody in the men's room. I got into the men's room. I couldn't open the store. There was somebody in the stall. So I'm tapping my foot, doing the pee-pee dance, and waiting for you know who comes out of the store in the men's room? A 90-year-old Chinese woman. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Get the hell out. And let me just say that I almost made it.
Oh, jeez.
I ended up having an accident. I had to ditch my skivvies to go to this audition. So I went on my audition with no underwear. And
how'd you do in the audition then?
well, they passed me, but then I never followed up with it because I ended up having a series of medical issues that I won't go into, but I got passed. They liked me. And that's
so now when you go on stage, do you not put on your underwear? Is that something?
Yes, that's my lucky thing.
What's your story, Doug? What do you got that's better than Tom?
I was listening to Tom's story, worried about how it was going to end, but I'm glad.
You think you were worried?
Anyway, Linda, I can't tell you a story I've never told anyone else. Because if I tell you that, my girlfriend, why didn't you tell me? How could you tell some woman you barely know a story you've never told?
That's a good impression of a girlfriend.
I do a lot of good impressions of people. You have a favorite impression of mine, Tom? Oh, I know.
No, when
this is a local comedian we love.
When I think of Doug, do you remember, Linda? Do you remember Underdog? The cartoon Underdog? Wally Cox did the voice for Underdog. Yes. And that's who Doug reminds me of. There's no need to fear. Underdog is here.
You never told me that.
Yeah.
I guess it's better than Barney Fife. A little bit better. Wally Cox.
When you said that you never told me that, now you sounded like you were his girlfriend.
I've got some issues with my girlfriend. I had for another show I was on, I had to play the role of Vanna White. It was called Vanna White Power. I didn't like the role, but I had to wear a dress. And I really got into it. And, I enjoyed, playing. And Tom knows this, I've always aspired to perform as Diana Ross. I mean, not just, I want to, and I discovered a way it wouldn't be blackface. I discovered inadvertently while I was staining my wood floor that a stain that you make from soaking steel wool and vinegar overnight turns your skin brown, like a perfect brown. I woke up, my hands were brown and my feet were brown for like a week. And I started, I could have my dream of coming out as Diana Ross. And I made the mistake of telling my girlfriend this, and she thought I was like really serious. I'm serious, but I don't know how far I would have gone. She wasn't particularly supportive. And anytime I happen to talk about, if I'm on Facebook and I ask somebody, if they have an extra spring dress or something for me and she sees it, she wonders whether or not. I'm like, how can you wonder? I have known her for 5 years.
She's not doing a callback. She really wonders.
I'm a really good actor. My delivery is, I have to work on my delivery. I think it's very dry. I don't give people cues when I've said something funny. They have to listen to something being funny, but a lot of comedians will not say something funny, but their delivery is so great. People pick up the cue. This is where we're supposed to laugh.
Yeah. I get where you're funny. Everything
it's not in New Jersey. Where? Tell me where. I want to go there.
When you yelled at your father that wasn't there.
You remember that one show, it was like a month after his heart attack, and we were in a storm, and we had to produce the show by phone or something like that.
Yeah.
And at one point during the show, I dropped a dictionary on the floor, and everybody heard the thump. You remember that, Tom?
I remember.
Yeah. And what happened? I
He
go,
pretended it was his father falling.
yeah, Doug, don't you think you ought to? He'll be okay. He's a tough one. He survived the Nazis. He's got his help I fallen, I can't get up button. And he's got me. Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It's not funny. You
Oh,
know,
it is funny. It is.
actually, I've been plotting, like, a year ago before my birthday, he came to me, he gave me a nice check. He said, Doug, you've taken care of me for 2 years. You've been here, basically 24/7. I want you and your girlfriend to go on a nice vacation. Thank you, Dad. Thank you. I call her up that night. Where should we go? Anyway, we're all excited about where we're going to go.
Uh-huh.
Next morning, my dad comes down, 96 years old. Doug, I can't be by myself at night. So I'm like desperate. I need a vacation. So I felt horrible. I was cleaning up in the basement, and I found some of my mother's old pills. She had died 2 years prior. Her osteoporosis pills. They looked exactly like my dad's furosemide pills, which is he takes for pulmonary edema to keep him alive. And I'm thinking, I really need a vacation. I can't get away. Where's the safest place for my father? The hospital. And I'm thinking, how bad would it be? Don't shake your head, Tom.
You're the one that told him to think before he shares a story.
The only reason I can do it is because people know I've been keeping him alive for 3 years and he's 97. So it's okay if I'm not plotting his murder. Just I'm on a vacation in Cape May. A weekend,
All right. Linda, are you familiar with Cape May?
No.
Oh, it's the furthest south shore point in New Jersey. So I called Cape May the last resort.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Taking care of him all this time, you should be able to go to Italy.
That's one place I do not want to go. My ex was from Italy, so I've been like 5 times. And I still have relatives. They might find out that I'm coming there, and hey, Dougie, let's go for a little ride.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, you got to be careful.
Well, gosh, I couldn't be more proud of getting to talk to the two of you, because everybody talks about how funny you are. I was telling Robin Siegel-Lakin was interviewing me, and she told me to tell you two hello. She loves you guys so much.
That's
Robin.
It's
Robin lives in Wayne, New Jersey, which is where I grew up. I grew up in her town.
And I think the first time I met Robin was at a show, which was the first time I met Helene Wiss. And you know her because you wrote to me. She goes, "Oh, write to Doug."
Yes, Helene Witt is like, she weaves everybody's lives together.
She is a matchmaker, I'll tell you. She is.
She is.
Yeah.
I told her if she ever went into real estate, she'd be a gajillionaire.
You're right. She should.
Yeah, she's a networker.
Yep.
Yeah. You guys have been so awesome. I'm a little bit slow and behind in my work. So when I get done with this interview, I go to the next interview. And then at night, if I have energy, I type the things you told me to promote. And so give me a day to get that up there, but I will get it up there.
Okay.
I only have 8 interviews today, so I might be tired at the end.
Doug usually needs a couple of days to get it up too.
You know, you took that from my mind. You know, you took that from my mind. I saw you looking. You knew, I knew, I know you knew.
You guys, you know what I like about you is that your comedy is timeless, and it's not whatever it is you're doing with your comedy is complementary to each other, and it is resonating with everybody in the audience, just like your bio said that I didn't read because I got behind schedule. Said that you relate to everybody, and you do. Your material, everybody can get it.
Uh-huh.
One of my favorite little stories, real quick, was when I was waiting in the back of the room to come up, I saw a couple at the back table with like a 3-month-old in a baby thing on top of the table in a comedy room. And I did my opening with, I'm not really sure about what I was planning on doing, because I saw some people with their kids here. Sir, how old is your kid? And they yell out, 3 months. I'm like, yeah, my material is inappropriate for a 3-month.
Doug's material isn't appropriate for a 30-year-old, so it doesn't matter.
You
Yeah,
guys
thank
are
you,
so
Tom.
awesome.
We have a lot of fun together, and it's been fun with you, Linda.
Thank
Yes,
you.
thank you for having us. It's nice to be had.
It's Tom Mongelli on the bottom and
Oh my
Doug Max
God,
on
I
the
gotta
top
do
with the
this.
blue shirt,
I've
and
been
the
doing this
father
for
in the back
2
room.
years.
And his girlfriend is somewhere. I don't know. He has her locked in the basement or something.
She's in
Somewhere.
the basement with duct tape, putting lotion in the basket, I think.
So you guys
It's
get
not
out there
that bad.
and what? Let me see the sign again, Tom Mongelli, so I get it exactly right. Go to Funny Talk with Mongelli and Max, funnytalk.podbean.com.
Thank you, Linda, very much. And thank you again for your service.
You're
and for
very
all you've
welcome.
done subsequently too. I know
Thank
you've
you.
done a lot for the vets, so thank
You guys are so awesome. I love you both, and go get them. The world's your oyster, even if
Thank
you're
you,
in
Linda.
Jersey or New York or whatever the hell. Kidding. Thank you.
Okay,
All
Linda,
right,
good
have a
talking
good
to you.
one.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Take care.